you have to give negativity permission to be inside. And as long as you don't invite it in, you'll be okay and safe. And then you have like so many things tempting around you, like the vampire. So it was so deep. It was so deep. That's the reason I cried for like a whole hour after.
It might not necessarily be like something dark, but these two might have to get out of the way or be shelved for Blue Ivy to really be able to shine.
Chloe Bailey just said something no artist under Beyoncé's label has dared to say out loud. And now, Chloe is getting punished for speaking out.
I'm not gonna cry.
Now, why is Chloe being punished exactly? Well, she said the quiet part out loud and accused Beyoncé of sacrificing artists who threatened her dynasty. Chloe and her sister Halle are two vocal powerhouses, but Beyoncé kept them locked up with no support, no space for them to perform on her tour, no promotion, no streaming support, nothing. All because she wanted Blue Ivy to be the next her. And let's be real, Blue Ivy is nowhere near as talented as Chloe when it comes to dancing and stage presence. Now, the craziest part in all of this is that a day after Chloe mentioned Blue in a now-deleted interview, her team went silent, and the offers stopped. But Chloe didn't stop talking. She just went on IG Live and exposed not only the sacrifices happening at Parkwood, but also the dark, demonic stuff going on behind the scenes in the entire industry. Just to give you a hint, Chloe said the Michael B. Jordan movie Sinners is exactly what happens in the music industry. Artists literally deal with forces that demand their souls.
After Sinners, I cried. It just reminds you so much of the industry.
So, Chloe finally spilled the tea on why her career's been struggling, and she got real with fans during a TikTok live stream. She opened up about the movie Sinners, and while she said it's a fun watch, it also hit her hard emotionally. Chloe broke down the movie's deeper meaning and said all the heavy symbolic stuff reminded her of how dark the music industry really is.
After Sinners, I cried. Do you know why I cried? Yes or no? Or you're just like, Chloe, you cried because you're a crybaby. You're silly. Yeah. So I think anyone who... It just reminds you so much of the industry, right? And it's like, you could have a gift like he did with his guitar. And like they said, when he's singing, he's honoring his ancestors and uplifting and all of that, but then it also attracts the not good. So it's like, in order for him to be successful, the vampires were telling him he has to sell out so that he could be, so he could live forever and his music could live forever. And it's exactly like things that I see and go through every day. And that's why I just like broke down crying, because it was showing like the people who decided not to go to the other side, they were in there fighting for their lives. They were in there going through it. While the ones who did give in, they were outside celebrating and having a good time and got things quicker and things like that. So the reason why Sinners resonated with me so much is because it's something that you see every day. And no matter how hard you work, no matter how good of a person that you are, no matter how talented you are, sometimes that's not enough to get you places that you need to be. And that's why Sinners, like, I was crying right after, because I feel like anyone in the industry could really resonate with it.
So, if you've seen Sinners, you know it's partly about Twin Smoke and Stack, both played by Michael B. Jordan, who opened a juke joint in 1930s Clarksdale, Mississippi, only to face a new kind of evil: vampires trying to steal the town's culture, stories, and music. Now back to Chloe. She said she's seen artists stuck choosing between staying true to their art or selling out to make it big. And here's the weird part. Her live kept getting restricted right after she said this.
Restricted this again. Hating. You know what? Anytime I realize or come across someone hating, I'm like, damn, I'm really that great? Someone like little old me, you gonna hate on? Thank you there for that love. So anytime you have a hater, or anytime you know people trying to stop you or anything like that, just know that just doubles down on how great you are. Because if you weren't anything special, no one would be putting in all this energy to stop.
But fans aren't just backing Chloe on Sinners. They're also starting to think the real reason her career isn't taking off comes down to one person: Beyoncé. That's right. A lot of people are pointing fingers at Beyoncé, with some even saying she might be sabotaging Chloe on purpose. But why would Beyoncé sign Chloe just to tank her debut project? Was there a hidden agenda from the start? Well, some fans have a theory. Beyoncé only signed Chloe to keep the spotlight warm until Blue Ivy was old enough to step in. And now that Blue is making waves, Beyoncé wants to make sure the path stays clear for her successor. The way Beyoncé has been pushing Blue into the spotlight definitely doesn't feel right.
Why does 13-year-old Blue Ivy look like she's 25? No one realizes that she has never been allowed to have a real childhood like Rumi. When Blue Ivy recently performed on stage with her mother Beyoncé during the Cowboy Carter tour, she frequently changed her looks. At only 13 years old, she wore 5 sets of high-end, custom-made outfits in one night of the premiere. Tasseled leather pants, a corset, and sequined gloves. All these were the treatments that celebrities received.
Now, some people in the industry have already called out Beyoncé and Jay-Z for doing too much to make Blue Ivy happen. Remember when 50 Cent hinted that the Carters bought Blue a Grammy when she was just 9 years old?
The kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing. Right. They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they...
And you can love or hate 50, but you've got to admit, Blue Ivy having a Grammy is a slap in the face to artists with real talent who have actually put in the work, including Chloe Bailey. For context, Chloe got her big break in 2015 when Beyoncé signed her and her sister Halle after their viral cover of Pretty Hurts. Just 2 weeks after Chloe and Halle posted that cover on YouTube, Beyoncé's management company, Parkwood Entertainment, offered them a $1 million record deal for up to 6 albums over 5 years. Chloe and Halle made their professional debut in 2016 with the EP Sugar Symphony. Later that same year, they served as Beyoncé's opening act for the European leg of the Formation World Tour.
We'll be opening up for Beyoncé on the Formation Tour in Europe, so we're so excited.
Very excited.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so much fun.
Between 2017 and 2020, Chloe and Halle dropped a mixtape called The Two of Us and 2 studio albums, The Kids Are Alright and Ungodly Hour, all under Beyoncé's label, and critics loved them. However, things changed in early 2021 when Halle moved to London to film Disney's The Little Mermaid, and Chloe kicked off her solo career. That's when Chloe started switching up her image, and fans began talking about how she was throwing away her real talent by leaning too hard into a sexy persona. After Chloe released a bizarre cover of Nina Simone's Feeling Good in July 2021, many fans took to social media to say Beyoncé was giving Chloe all the wrong advice. Now, clearly Chloe was killing it with the vocals, but doing over-the-top, sexualized dance moves while singing a Nina Simone song from the civil rights era, which was never meant to be sexy, just felt totally off. That's when fans really started questioning whether Beyoncé was even putting real effort into Chloe's music. A lot of people said the label took the lazy route by over-sexualizing her instead of building on her real talent. But the backlash got even stronger after Chloe dropped the video for her debut single, Have Mercy, which fans dragged for looking cheap and tacky. Some even called the video demonic and said Chloe literally looked possessed. But instead of helping steer Chloe's career in the right direction, Parkwood kept making horrible decisions that kept backfiring. After Have Mercy, Chloe released Treat Me, and once again it was all about an overly sexualized vibe. Basically, everything after Have Mercy felt forced, provocative, and overdone. And it was really weird how Parkwood seemed to just leave Chloe out in the water to drown. Every decision since the Have Mercy video had been a misfire, and Chloe couldn't even get a lifeline from her label owner, who happens to be a global superstar. It just didn't make sense. Fast forward to January 24th, 2023, Chloe announced her debut solo album In Pieces. Shortly after, she released the lead single, Pray It Away. And while this time Chloe kept the lyrics and visuals clean, the song didn't do what it was supposed to do. It was simply underwhelming and forgettable for a lead single. But things just kept getting worse. The second single from the album was a collaboration with Chris Brown, and that triggered a lot of people. It was especially strange that Beyoncé was on board with this, knowing Chris's history with Rihanna, who was once signed to Jay-Z. Now, obviously, Chris and Rihanna's situation had nothing to do with Chloe, but it was still a bizarre choice, especially for someone like Beyoncé, who's famously protective of her image. But that wasn't even the worst part. The In Pieces album turned out to be a major flop. Fans were disappointed to see Chloe's talent being wasted. The album felt too manufactured and unfocused, and it seemed like her label didn't have a clear vision for her. Another strange move? Chloe didn't even include her two best-known songs, Have Mercy and Treat Me, on the album. That decision didn't make any sense for an artist just starting out. And to top it all off, In Pieces barely made it onto the Billboard 200, debuting at number 119 and selling just a little over 10,000 units in its first week. Now contrast that with Chloe and Halle's second album as a duo, Ungodly Hour, which debuted at number 16 on the Billboard 200, sold 24,000 units in its first week, and even earned a Grammy nomination. So, what was Parkwood doing wrong with Chloe? Was Beyoncé really sabotaging her on purpose? A lot of people think Beyoncé is at least partly to blame because she did virtually nothing to promote Chloe on social media. Even The Breakfast Club brought it up, with DJ Envy saying Beyoncé could have done more, especially since she personally handpicked Chloe to be a Parkwood artist.
If you're signed to somebody's record label, right, or you are in business with somebody, that's part of what you assume or what you think, right? If I'm an artist and I sign to anybody, and I seen Jay-Z do it to his biggest artists, Beanie Siegel, to Rihanna, to Kanye, to Emil, he promoted his artist.
Interview. And a lot of fans agreed with Envy, saying that even if Beyoncé didn't want to do a feature with Chloe, a simple IG repost probably could have given Chloe a top 50 debut. See, it's not about handing her everything, it's about basic support. But Beyoncé didn't do anything for the album. She didn't give Chloe a feature, didn't promote her music, and didn't even offer her a slot as an opening act on tour. Now, many fans are speculating that none of this is just bad luck, that Beyoncé may have been sabotaging Chloe's career on purpose because she didn't want Chloe to outshine Blue Ivy. It's no secret that Beyoncé wants Blue to be her successor, and she's been grooming her for that role from a very young age. That's why Blue already has a Grammy, performed at the Oscars at age 10, and is now actively touring with Beyoncé as part of her background dance group. But that's not all, and here's where it takes a darker turn. You may have already heard the long-standing rumors that Beyoncé and Jay-Z have allegedly sacrificed artists who posed a threat to their reign at the top of the industry. One of the most chilling theories? That Jay-Z was somehow connected to Aaliyah's death, a tragedy many believe wasn't just an accident. Aaliyah's ex-boyfriend and Jay-Z's former business partner, Dame Dash, claimed that Jay was aggressively pursuing Aaliyah, but she wasn't interested. And in 2001, the same year Aaliyah died in a plane crash in the Bahamas, Jay-Z began dating Beyoncé. What really set off the conspiracy theories was a disturbing detail. Eyewitnesses claimed Aaliyah was given a sedative and carried unconscious onto the plane before it crashed. That one piece of information has fueled speculation for years that something—
The source says that Aaliyah was given a sleeping pill and carried onto the plane unconscious before the fatal crash happened in the Bahamas. Kingsley Russell, who was 13 at the time, was in the car that drove Aaliyah and her team to the airport for their return flight to Miami. According to Kingsley Russell, they took her out of the van and she didn't even know she was getting boarded on a plane. Russell says she went on that airplane asleep.
And then Mary J. Blige said Aaliyah's death was a spiritual murder. And the way she said it made it sound like she knew something about that plane crash that the public doesn't.
Barry, when Aaliyah died for a wrongful death, he got paid $90 million for her death. Am I supposed to say that on TV? For $90 million for her death.
Was that just for his rights or whatever he owned?
What she would have been able to make if she hadn't have died.
Oh, okay. There was a lot of lawsuits.
I guess,
Okay.
but that was the settlement. I wasn't in. I was there when we went over to he got $90 million. He wouldn't stayed at the L'Hermitage Hotel. We ate good, in deep mourning, right?
And to make all of this even creepier, let's not forget that Beyoncé's own staff has made allegations that she practices witchcraft and performs sacrifices. Back in 2018, Beyoncé's former drummer of 7 years, Kimberly Thompson, publicly accused her of engaging in extreme witchcraft, even going so far as to claim that Beyoncé used dark magic to control and manipulate her life. Thompson took it seriously enough to file for a restraining order against Beyoncé, alleging harassment, spells, and even
this has been going on since 2006, and it's just been getting worse and worse and worse. And for a very long time, I put this person on a pedestal. I love them. I send emails, publicly, happy birthday and all this stuff. And the entire time, this person was casting spells and manipulating me and controlling my job situations, my relationships, just all kinds of things.
And then, more recently, Beyoncé's former dance captain, Ashley Everett, who worked with her for nearly a decade, was caught liking shady posts and comments that referred to Beyoncé as a demon. But here's what no one's really talking about. Right after Chloe's Instagram Live About Sinners and refusing to sell her soul started getting restricted, another Parkwood artist quietly wiped their socials. This same artist had a collaboration lined up with Chloe that mysteriously disappeared from the rollout schedule with no explanation. Now, insiders are saying they might have seen something too. So, what is Beyoncé really hiding? Because if Chloe